Hey there, it is Wednesday's Freedom at 5 at 4. Today I had to do it a little bit sooner. Some of you who know me know that it is my husband's birthday today, so we've got a little bit of a festivity going on this evening and stuff. So I'm just having to come on here a little bit earlier today. So I'm going to get right into it, and for those who come on, midway, hopefully you can go back. And for those others of you, hopefully you can find it, at some point in time and listen to the replay as well. So last week when I was on here, Wednesday Freedom at 5, I spoke about actually kind of my journey through fear and anxiety. And I spoke about the different avenues that I used, the different kind of, I would call them, worldly, kind of secular avenues that people use in order to find freedom from fear, right? Doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, even doing a 3-week time at a Christian psychiatric hospital. And after that, it was with a Christian therapist for, I don't know, I think maybe 3-ish years or something like that. So I had tried everything humanly possible to break free. And break free is what I wanted to do. I had learned how to cope. I had learned how to put up with it. I had learned how to manage it. I had learned how to fashion my life around it and live, live with this, right? But I was going for freedom. 25 years of this. But I was going for freedom. I didn't know how it could happen. I really had no idea how that could occur. However, that was what I was going for. So let me just try to get through this, a little bit quickly. So I was still seeing a Christian therapist, probably for about 3 years. And again, no breakthrough. And I truly mean no breakthrough. I just kept thinking, somebody tell me something to do. Somebody tell me something that I can do in order to begin to get on a path of freedom. And so one night, my husband and I were sleeping. I woke up at 4, anxious, which was not an unusual thing. And I don't know if the TV was on or if we turned it on. Let's say it was on, and I wake up and I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing things come across the TV. If you're feeling like this and like this and like this, or if you're experiencing this and this and this. And I woke up my husband and I'm like, honey, look. I said, look at what it says on that TV screen right now. This is me. This is what I've been trying to tell you for a couple years now. This is how I've been feeling with anxiety and fear and stuff. This describes me perfectly. It was like I was almost in tears thinking I'm listening to this and actually listening to somebody who has dealt with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And not only did this woman talk about it, that she's dealt with it for like 30 years, she, along with this gentleman, had developed a course that they said was helping many, many people break free. So I'm listening to this. It's a 16-week course. This is back in the mid-ish 90s with cassette tapes. That kind of dates it. So you get 16 cassette tapes and you get a workbook. And I'm listening to this and seriously getting pumped, thinking, I don't know, maybe this is it. And at the end of it, it was like, it's $425. And I was so dejected. Like, I looked at my husband and I'm like, we've got four children at that point in time. My husband's working, I'm not working. And it's not like we were, poor, but it was like, that was a lot of money. That was a big deal back in the mid 90s and stuff. And I remember my husband just saying, I don't care if it's $425, honey, we can't afford not to get this for you. So there was something, in this infomercial that we saw that was like, I've just got to do it. So we ordered it. I received it. And I actually took the brochure. There was like a brochure with it that told what all the 16 sessions were about. And I took it to the Christian therapist that I was with at the time, I remember, and I showed it to him, and I was really excited. I was like, hey, I can do this, and I can, be with you. And he looked at it, and he looked through it, and he goes, no. He goes, don't do this. He said, it's not what you think. It's not going to help you at all. It was actually endorsed even by a pastor. I said, look, it's endorsed by a pastor. And he said, no. And I was so sad. Like when I left that day and I got back in the car and I told my husband, he's like, don't do it. I'm like, I already bought it. And my husband, I think he was like, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We weren't like, what do I want to say, like big believers at the time, my husband and I, we were churchgoers. We weren't Bible readers or, anything like that. But somehow, some way in my mind, I thought, you know what? I feel like God brought this program or this course in for me. And that was the last time I went to that Christian therapist. I'm like, I'm done. I'm 3 years in and I'm no better. So this secular course that I did, right? 16 weeks. I had 4 small children at the time. I think 3 of them were in school. 1 of them was at home. But you guys, I did this thing every week. That's what it said. Do it every week. Do it with the workbook. And I did it. I did it every single week. And there were some sessions that didn't apply to me. There were sessions on if you're using drugs or alcohol to cope, which I was not. There was a session on intense anger. There was a session on exercise and taking care of your body, which I already was. There was there was a session on eating right, which I was doing too, but I did them all. I still did every single one of those. They were about an hour or a little hour long. Number 16 was like a relaxation body kind of thing, right? So I went through 16 weeks of this course. Again, just a secular course, a worldly course, cost me $425, and it helped me more than anything had helped thus far. I was like, wow. So I did it again. So 16 and 16, 32 weeks I spent doing this every single week, diligently, religiously. I was like, I'm doing this thing. I'm doing it. And I found more breakthrough than I had found through psychologists, through psychiatrists, through Christian counseling, through Christian psychiatric hospital. It was crazy to me that this was happening. There was like no mention of God, ever, except for one time the gal on the one CD or on the one cassette tape just said, if there is a God, I don't think he would want you to live like this. That was the only thing that I heard. And over the years, I wasn't 100%, right? But I was, oh my goodness, so much more than I ever was. I began to develop more of a relationship with God over the years. I began to develop, getting into the Word and things like that. And I remember asking God one day, like, why did this secular program, why did this help me more than Christian counseling, than a Christian psychiatric hospital, than anything else that I was doing, or pursuing in order to break free? And it was fascinating to me that I heard in my spirit that the Lord said, even though I wasn't mentioned, even though, the principles in that program are straight from my word. They come straight from the word. They're the practical principles that I was able to use, right? That I was able to do something, right? The Bible tells us, the word tells us that we are to be doers, the word, right? And that's what I kept wanting, something that I could do, that would bring me freedom. And there was nothing except when I purchased this. And I was like, wow, that's fascinating. We read many books, in our lives, many maybe self-help books, and many of those books that have helped us that might not mention God at all. But the principles oftentimes come from the Word of God. He's the one who gives the wisdom. So over time, I said, you know what, Lord, I want to develop a course. I want to develop a course, a course of practical wisdom that gives you honor and that gives you glory, that encompasses your word, but that does it in a way, again, that is practical, that does it in a way that I can teach it, that is relatable, and that also helps people to find absolute freedom. And that is how Reclaiming Peace was birthed. So 2 years, two very diligent years is what it took to finally get that course, birthed, the first course of Reclaiming Peace. And it was amazing. It was absolutely, it was so cool to think of that, to be able to do this, to be able to do a course again that gives honor where honor is due, right? That is able to encompass the word. Does that mean it's a preachy thing? No. You can ask anybody who's done this course, and there was a lot of people who've taken it. No, God has enabled me to teach it in a way that is so relatable, and in a way that even a non-believer, could do this course and not feel like threatened or feel that they're preached to. But yet I make no bones about where this wisdom, comes from, right? So that was launched. And then, some kind of life things happened, and I relaunched last year in 2024. We unfortunately had found that the hard drive with the first edition of Reclaiming Peace lost. So I redid the whole course, and it's very similar, but Holy Spirit had me add some things to it that were pretty awesome. So we relaunched it, and I'm super, super excited about that. So kind of in a nutshell, that was how I found more freedom than anything else that I had ever done. Again, 25 years. And I started searching when I was about 16 is when I started kind of seeking things out. And then in my early to mid 20s, when Ken and I got married, that was when I really began to pursue things. When I told him, that was when I really kicked it into high gear. And I'm like, okay, what is out there? What can I find that is going to enable me to break free? And that is how it is birthed. So now, which is really cool, like right now, I have 3 avenues. Like there's 3 avenues that a person could choose if you're dealing with fear, anxiety, and panic attacks. And let me just say too, I've been on here and people have seen me, and yes, I had it bad. I had panic attacks very bad. I had anxiety very bad, right? But it doesn't have to be. You might just be somebody who worries, like constant worrying, about yourself, maybe about your kids, about your job, about the future, or whatever. Or somebody who just wakes up every night and your mind is just racing, and you can't quit thinking and worrying, about things. Maybe that's what you got. Maybe you're somebody who has evil forebodings. It's something that I dealt with as well. And what that is kind of always thinking the worst. You might be one of those people who are, somebody is, a half hour late and you've got, or whatever, or you get a phone call, right? And it's, oh my goodness, it's really bad, right? Or my boss wants to meet with me next week. I'm sure I'm getting fired, right? So that's kind of the evil forebodings, always kind of thinking the worst instead of thinking the best. So these might be issues that you have too, and Reclaiming Peace addresses all of these things. So right now I want to just share with you 3 different ways that if this is something that you're dealing with, or something that somebody who you love, who you care about, who is dealing with this, freedom is available. Freedom is absolutely available. And let me share with you 3 different ways right now. One way is the digital course that I have, which is sent right to your email, and it's really cool how it's set up. And it is a 10-week course. It is 10 videos, 10 videos that you do, one each week. They're a little over an hour long. And then you get 10 more videos that I call my midweek motivation that you can do in between those weeks that just, kind of pump you up and kind of keep you going, and just that I can be kind of your cheerleader as you're going through this. You also get a beautiful workbook, and you get my devotional to go with it, and a couple other printouts as well. That course is available. Also, I am doing my course live at our church, Glory House International Ministries at 336 Hermansaw in Saginaw. And that starts a week from today, Wednesday, the 21st of January, and that's going to run for 10 weeks. It's about the 6th or 7th time that I have done this course at our church, and I'm very, very excited about that. And we will meet from 6:30 until 8 o'clock, again, for 10 weeks. You will receive the workbook, and you will receive the companion devotional with that as well. If you want more information, you can call our church office or get with me, private message me, because it's not like you got to be a member of our church or anything like that. This is for anybody, in this immediate, kind of the Tri-City or the Saginaw County area, if you want to break free. And then, if you're not quite ready for the course, not quite ready for, to do this, I have my new devotional that you can order. That's just could be a little jump start for you. Could be just, you read over this and you're going to get a good idea of what the course encompasses, quite honestly. So this is available too on my website. So the digital course on my website, reclaimingpeace.com. Order the devotional, that is also on my website, but I'll put links in the comments as well, so that it's easy for you to get to. But please, I welcome any comments or any questions that you might have. Please private message me. I'm telling you, it's my mission. It is my absolute mission and mandate from God. I believe that with my whole heart, to see that thousands and thousands and thousands of people can break free from a life of fear and anxiety. And I'm telling you, this is not a life that God has given you or assigned to you. No, his gift to you is freedom from fear, and it is absolutely attainable. So I'm gonna kind of close for today, and I just pray that a lot of people see this who need to see it. And for those of you who have watched right now, I don't think there has been a lot, but if there is, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you know anybody who struggles with this, please let them know about this video, that they can watch it as well. And for those of you who are going to watch, the replay, I thank you and praise you for that too. So if you have done the course or something, if you watch it and you've done this course or you have this devotional, put something in the comments if you wouldn't mind. Like, hey, I've done that course with Heidi. And I found I found freedom, or whatever, right? It's not my wisdom. I'm not trying to elevate, myself. God has chose me to do it. He chose me to teach it, and things, and he's equipped me with the ability to do that. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind doing that, anybody who's going to watch this and who has already done it, that would be amazing. So again, thank you so much for watching. And I will be on next Wednesday again. Yeah, at 5. And also next Wednesday is when I start teaching this course at our church too. So private message me again if you want any more information on that. But God bless you, and I'll be back with more videos. Thanks.